Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome to a brand new video. Please make sure to like the video so it gets out to more people when you're watching this, and subscribe to the channel if you are one of those new people. We are trying to hit 500 subscribers before the end of the year. We're trying to get to 500 before the end of the year. I don't think I'll make it, but if you guys get me there, you're a bunch of legends. So please subscribe to the channel. And as you guys know, there's not a game until the weekend. So you're like, wait, what are we talking about? If you read the title, we are talking about, and the thumbnail of course, we are talking about our away form, because there's been problems with our away form all season, and the same thing did happen last season. The away form last season, you could say that is why we didn't get promoted, was because our away form wasn't good enough. And this season has started off, in my opinion, is our away form good enough? Because our home form is amazing. Like, you look at the difference, and something has to be done about this season for me, because I look at how we played home and away, and I don't understand, because we play the exact same, and there should be more pressure at home for me because it's filled with a full stadium, a full packed out ground stadium, a packed out ground. But Ellen Road's packed out basically every single game, so there should be really more pressure put on the home games than the away games. But for some reason at home we're brilliant, and then away we just can't win games at all. Okay, so this season at home, you look at the home form, right? We've drawn one. Yeah, we drew the first game of the season, and then we lost to Middlesbrough, okay, in the cup. We don't talk about that. That was the cup. We then won one and then lost one. So the start of the season started off with one win, one loss, one win, and one draw at home. And then since then, it's just been wins. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We won in the last 8 home games in a row. But then you go on to our away form, and it started off with a 0-0 draw against West Brom. We then beat Sheffield Wednesday and then beat Cardiff both 2-0. So we got 2 good results away from home in a row, both wins with clean sheets. You're like, okay, let's push on. We then drew to Norwich 1-1, drew to Sunderland 2-2, drew to Bristol 0-0. So we drew 3 games in a row before losing to Millwall 1-0. After that, we managed to beat Swansea 4-3 in a thriller. It was a good game. We only just won it as well right at the end, if you guys remember that. So that could have been another draw. We weren't far off that being an absolute another draw if it wasn't for Nonto scoring that goal in the 91st minute. It would have been legit another draw added onto the away form. And then you go after that, and after that win, we then lose to Blackburn, and then of course the most recent game, we rescued a point against Preston. Now, I just don't understand, because a packed out Ellen Road, you think, okay, that's where you'll probably struggle the most because there's a lot of pressure on you, you're at Ellen Road. Other grounds, not being mean to other teams, they don't fill out their grounds every week. They don't fill out their grounds, but we do it every single game. So the home form, in my opinion, should be harder than the away form. You know what I mean? But then you look at the lineup, and the lineups don't change. We play the exact same way at home and away. And I'm thinking, do we have to change things up away to actually be able to get a win? Now, if you look at the 2 different lineups that we have gone with, we're going to look through a couple and talk about the lineups that we actually went with in these games. So we'll go to the home form, right? And we'll go to our most recent win in the home form, which, if I can get this up, it was the 3-1 win against Middlesbrough. So Middlesbrough, we beat 3-1, and we go look at the lineup for that game, and we started with Melier, Byram, Rodon, Strauch, and Boba. Yeah, Rothwell and Tanaka, James, Aronson, Nonto, Joseph. So that team was the team that won at home, 3-1. We then go to the away, the away games. We should look at the most recent away games. If I can get that up, we go to the away form. The most recent away games, of course, was the Preston game and the Blackburn game. The Preston game was the 1-1, of course, and then the Blackburn before that was a 1-0 loss. So we go look at those results, and we look at that, and we can see the starting 11 against Preston was Melier the same, Byram, okay, Strauch and Rodon, Bogle, Tanaka and Rothwell, yeah, Nonto, Aronson, James, Pirro. Now, you look at that and you're like, okay, nothing much different except for Pirro and Joseph, but let's not start saying that, oh, the only reason we won was because Joseph started. That's just not why we won those games, which doesn't make sense, because then we go to the other game against Blackburn, which we lost 1-0, of course, and the starting 11 for that loss was Melier, Firpo, Strauch, Rodon, Bogle, and then Rothwell, Tanaka, Aronson, Nonto, James, and Pirro. So we lose those games, right? And I just don't understand what's going on, because we don't change our lineup much. We might change one player, maybe 2 if we have to, and we only change based off injuries, and if someone comes off the bench or starts a game in the previous game, and plays well, they're going to keep their spot. The Preston game, as I said, we have to talk about the performances in these games because the performances haven't been good in these draws. Like when we draw a game, I'm like, okay, if we have a good performance, I can be like, okay, we did draw the game and it's not the best result, but we played well. The Preston game, I mean, we were absolutely terrible. No one performed, no one showed up, in my opinion, except for Dan James. And you go off the basis of that, and you look at the home games, like, you look at the most recent home games that we can talk about. Let's talk about the last 3 home games, which were all wins. The Middlesbrough game, we won 3-1, right? Nonto got the highest rating here. I'm looking at the ratings. Nonto got the highest rating, and the goal scorers were all in the front line behind the striker. Nonto got one, Aronson got one, and James got one. They all played well, you know, and I think it was a good team performance at home, and I thought everyone played well that played. And then you go to the one before, which was the 2-0 against Derby. Again, I thought we played well again. You had Rothwell being the best player, with the highest rating. And then you had Rodon scoring, that was the header. And I think it doesn't say, it doesn't say here, but who scored the second goal? Wasn't it Voba? I swear Voba scored. Was this the game Voba scored? It doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure this was the game Voba scored, right? Oh, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Oh, he came off the bench, sorry, because he didn't start because Firpo got injured, didn't he? Yeah, so he came off the bench and scored. So 2 defenders scored in that 2-0 win. And then in the other game, 3 of our attackers scored. So you're looking at that, okay. And then the other game before that was the Luton game. Byram scored. Rodon was the highest rated. Pirro scored, and did someone score? Someone must have scored off the bench, right? Dan James scored off the bench. So I'm just looking at the home form and the away form. You know, 8 wins in a row at home. But like, you go from these 8 wins at home, and then you lose and draw games away from home. Like, it makes no sense. Because if we look at just overall, now let's go to overall and just talk about the overall season so far. Because you look at this, right? And you look at the wins here that I can see. I'm going to tell you guys. In our last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our last 7 games. We lost one, which was the Blackburn game. Yeah. The wins came against QPR, Swansea, and then we beat Luton. And then right after that was the Blackburn game we lost. We then beat Derby 2-0, and then we beat Middlesbrough 3-1 before the Preston draw. Like, you look at the season, and overall, you look at that and you go, okay, it's good. Now there's another thing I want to talk about is, because it's all happening away from home, does that make it worse? Because if you go and look at what's been happening, people are going, oh, our away form's not good, oh, it's bad. But if you switch the results around, right? In the last, let's say the last month, the last month. So in the last month, what have we done? We've won against Derby, we won against Middlesbrough, and we drew against Preston. We can chuck in the other game before that, which was on the 30th. We lost against Blackburn, right? Those 4 games, yeah? We got 7 points. I think people would have taken 7. Actually, let's go and talk about the last 3. Let's not talk about that. I think people would have taken 7 points out of the last 3. Anyway, let's actually, sorry boys, let's go back even further. Let's go back and start with just after the Millwall 1-0 loss, right? So after that, we played QPR, Swansea, yeah, with Luton, Blackburn, Derby, Middlesbrough, Preston. If you tell me out of all those games, how many points would you be happy with? You would say probably, oh, we'll take a couple of wins, maybe 1 loss in there, 1 draw in there we'll take. You would take, out of all those games, what how many points together? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. We took 16 points, right? 16 points out of the last 7 games. I have to work that out, sorry boys. 16 points out of the last 7 games. Before those 7 games, you would have taken that. We would have all taken that, right? I 100% agree. Everyone said they would have taken it. If you switch the results around, now this is what I'm saying. If we actually beat Preston, but the draw happened against Middlesbrough, would people have been less panicking if that was how it went? If the way it went was us winning against Preston, and then drawing against Middlesbrough, would people's opinions be different? And I kind of think they would be. When I look at it, I'm going like, okay, if that was the case, I think Leeds United fans would be more like, okay, we did draw against Middlesbrough and we beat Preston, but Middlesbrough are a good team, so it's a good result, you know? And I think that's how people would have looked at it. But because this away form, every result, every draw, not many wins, 3 wins all season away from home, since it's all happening away from home and not being spaced out between home and away, I think people are more worried about the away games in that case, in that situation. More people are worried about the away games. I mean, we got to not forget, we are still in second place on 12 wins, 6 losses, 6 draws, and 3 losses. We've only lost 3 all season. We've got to remember that. And we're all the way in second place. Like, it is close, of course, and we did drop points to Sheffield United and Burnley after the last game week because we drew to Preston. But I'm still fine, and I'm still confident that we will go up at the end of the season. But I do believe that this away form does have to improve, and we have to win more games than what we have done. Because if you look at how many games, so away from home, well, we played 10 games away from home. Oh, that's perfect. 10 games away from home, we've only won 3 out of the 10. That's not amazing, you know. You would say 5+ wins away from home, and you'll be like, okay, we're good, we should get promoted. But 3, you're looking at and going, maybe some of those should be wins in the other games as well. The whole thing of like, then you hear people say, well, if you draw all your away games and you win all your home games, you'll go up, and that's a perfect season. But it's just a fact of we're not as good at home as last season. You know, we have lost twice this season at home, one in the cup, so we don't have to talk about that actually. But we've drawn 1 game and we've lost a game at home. The Burnley 1-0 loss, of course, and the 3-3 at the start of the season against Portsmouth, which, looking back at it, is a terrible result when you look at them on the table. They're right at the bottom, I'm pretty sure. Or they were at the bottom the last time I checked. But yeah, this away form does have to change, and I don't know what the solution is. Is it that you start different players away from home, and you might say, I don't know, maybe you start a Ramazani away from home, and then you start maybe once Ampadu's fully fit, you put a Tanaka or Rothwell into the 10. I want you guys to tell me what you guys think of what we have to do to actually win these games at home, because I am getting a tiny bit worried of if this does continue throughout the entire season, we'll be able to keep up our home form to get promoted. It is a worry, but at the moment, I'm comfortable, I'm fine, and I think we'll have enough to get promoted. Let's just see how we do in our next couple of away games, and then I might make another video re-talking about this topic, because it will really need to be talked about if we don't win our next couple of away games. So hopefully we can do that. If you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below what you think has to change in these away games, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.